guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the pay to win account and we're going to do another breakdown. In Season has a brand new guide when it comes to the wish list. There's a very specific way to break this down, what the heroes need, what priorities you want to focus on when you're starting. So even when you're in early game, mid game, even going into end game, there is a very specific way to break this wish list down, which we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at right now. All right, guys, so here it is, and I did zoom it in quite a bit so we can check out In Season's Almanac push from AFK Analytica. So looking at here, again, breaking down the wish list into our 4 primary factions, and also looking at what you need to build the heroes depending on where you are within the game. So even looking here for our Lightbearers, we have Rowan, absolutely the strongest support hero. You have to build him out as soon as possible. Here it shows, I believe this is 15, which is the signature item, 0, which is no furniture. Ultimately, guys, the plus 30 signature item from Rowan is the biggest priority. Furniture, really not so much. So 309, building him out, I don't see the big reason for the furniture. Ultimately, there are a lot of other heroes that are in the wish list that you want to build out much faster than you want to build Rowan's furniture in particular, which is, of course, the next one we look at is Mauler. Mauler, building him to the plus 20 signature item, the 3 of 9 furniture ASAP. And as you see, this little star that we have in here is going to allow you to keep them in the wish list, guys. So the priority here, when you look at these 5 Lightbearer heroes right in the front. So once we place all 5 of these, when we get Rowan, Rose, or Rain up to the ascended level, they will actually drop right out of the wish list and then go for 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, so on and so forth down the road. Maro and Hendrik in particular, you can see the little stars that In Season added in here, meaning they are going to stay in the wish list until they are 5 stars, which is, you're going to see the priority and the reasoning why as we continue through the guide. And I really like this because it summarizes so much of AFK Arena in this guide, which is very cool to see. So looking at Rose, a plus 10 signature item going all the way to a 309. Again, her furniture kind of questionable. Rain, 10, 3 furniture. Her 3 furniture is really what you want to focus on, 110%. It is going to make a big difference when it comes to the boss fights, which is the reason Rain has to have that furniture. That 3 of 9 furniture is a necessity as soon as possible. Hendrik, he's a hero that can be kind of situational at times, but when you are earlier in AFK Arena, he can make a huge difference in protecting and really protecting the one hero that you are using for your main push, whether it's Ainz, whether it's Damon. He is a protector. His skills set him up as such, making him a very strong hero to have. 309 eventually is where you want to get them. Now we get into the further heroes a little bit down. Ullard, we've seen a ton of push in the Lucretia Ullard comp. We've also seen his significance in PvP. Of course, you do have to have him built out. Plus 15 signature item, 3 of 9 furniture. Ultimately, just maxing out at the 309 rate. Estrilda, we've seen her presence within the Twisted Realm in the Dark Namora fight. Ultimately, she is a hero that does have a niche here and there. She can definitely help a ton when it comes to the Lightbearer Tower. So 3 of 9 furniture, absolutely, it unlocks the ability to give her more power, which is awesome. Gwen is another hero that has fallen kind of far down. If you're looking to build her out, 2 or building a plus 20 signature item, 3 of 9 furniture, and then of course 309 eventually, because she is going to be your primary carry. So when you get into the Lightbearer Tower and as you continue progression, you're going to have Maro, you're going to have Gwen. Rose can kind of follow either of those, really buffing them up and making them very strong heroes. Falks is another hero. You have to build him out just because of the limited crowd control within the faction itself, which he is very important when it comes to the tower. And then of course we have Cecilia here. Does quite a bit of damage. A lot of players don't utilize her outside of the Abyssal Expedition, which this Abyssal Expedition I was a little disappointed with her performance, but overall a hero, plus 20 signature item, 3 of 9, so not a huge investment with her to do decently well. So moving on to our Mauler faction, guys, and again with the stars we have Titus, we have Kren. Kren is a hero you want to build out as soon as possible, guys. he is absolutely broke at 309 with the crowd control and the enshroudment ability. It works super well when it comes to building those out. Titus is another hero, does a significant amount of damage within the faction. He also has crowd control. Very few Mauler heroes do have the crowd control, which is the reason, especially building him for the tower, but he also does have a lot of utility when it comes to the Abyssal Expedition, so building him out is a big priority. Adding stars on him will only increase the survivability that he has within there. Next one we look at is Scrath, 3 of 9 furniture, just like Rain, absolutely priority to go ahead and be. He is the key one to the 5 pole. Without the 5 pole, it does not work. 3 of 9 furniture. Ultimately, getting his plus 30 signature item doesn't seem that significant in damage, but again, he is utilized in the Twisted Realm as well as a couple other formations. So you know what? If you're running him in a formation, why not build him out a little bit so he does a little bit more damage? Could make a difference, doesn't make a huge impact, but ultimately getting him to that 303 build that we see right there. Scrag is another one, 10-3 right here. His signature item definitely needs to be unlocked as soon as possible. The higher you build it, even here, the 209, that is where I have him built personally. That is where he stays, guys. His plus 30 signature item doesn't have a big impact. He just gets to ult a little bit faster, but with the energy regeneration and the damage he's taking, it doesn't take much to ult him anyways. So really pushing that 309 doesn't make that big of a difference. But the 209, definitely, the 909 furniture for him is a massive priority, guys. On Nemitsu, you can see plus 10 signature item up to 25-3. Now, a lot of players have asked why 23 with the signature item. It adds the substat, which I believe for Nemitsu is haste. So definitely adding the 25 signature item plus 30 doesn't make that big of a difference again, but the plus 25 signature item will work out perfectly. Sophia, pretty much not built here. I do like to build her out. I like the scatterbolt ability. It seems with the engraving system that it's kind of counterintuitive to what she is building, which is the reason why a lot of heroes or a lot of players do not build her out. Ultimately, if you're not going to build her out, Spectral Disruption is really all that she is utilized for in the 5 pole. And we've also seen her replaced in a lot of the 5 pole as well, which is the reason probably even before her, I might prioritize Brutus, simply just because Brutus is immune. He's the immune king. One of the first heroes to have immunity. If you have him built earlier, he's going to work well. All that he needs is levels to unlock his skills, and the immunity for him will work. Ultimately, getting him up to 203 is where you want to build him. Granite, so our newest hero in here, plus 10 signature item when you're building him, all the way up to 309, guys. So he is one you will completely max out. His plus 30 signature item is insanely broken as of right now. When he comes into the battle, all of the targets are marked and he petrifies them relatively early, especially if he dies. He will petrify and crowd control the whole team, which is very cool to see. Drez is another hero. Short of the Abyssal Expedition, don't really use him for anything. He starts with ranged attack, which is kind of weird. He's not like a Titus where he goes right into the fight. He will actually stand at range with a slingshot for a little bit before he ults and actually gets into combat where he can be utilized a lot further. And then Antandra, building her with furniture. Furniture is the biggest priority for her. She is considered the Mauler Isolde. So if you guys have used Isolde, she does work exceptionally well when it comes to building her out, but most players just use her again for the Mauler Tower, even using a combination of Antandra with Scrag, even using Nemitsu in there for the distraction. Kren, then of course Titus, a hero similar to that, works really well because they're all stacked with the Scrag Evade and they can all go on the enemy side with the Mauler Tower. Which brings us to our Wilders, probably one of my favorite factions. Iran and Raku, leaving them in the entire time to go ahead and build out stars on them. We have 15-0 with Iran all the way to 309, exactly where you want him to be, guys. His plus 30 signature item doubles the effectiveness of his crowd control ability, which is awesome. 309 is going to give him a significant amount of damage, which you want on him because you're kind of relying on the damage that he does when he provides the crowd control, plus the frozen targets and the slow. It's good to have him do damage. Usually if he dies, the battle's pretty much over. The 5 pole has been defeated. Leica is another hero. Plus 20 signature item on her is hugely significant, guys. This is what allows her to get a ton of damage. And even here, the 203 works really well. I personally like the 209, the 209, so plus 20 signature item, the 9 of 9 furniture because it hits one additional target, so you can get the debuff on multiple targets. Raku is another hero, plus 20, 203, and to the 303. His plus 20 and plus 30 signature item allow him to do a significant amount of damage. The 3 of 9 furniture is really all you need him built. It's very situational if you build the 9 of 9, because remember, if he ults and he doesn't kill an enemy, he'll shoot it one more time, but he doesn't do that much damage with the ult, which is kind of the reason that, similar to Isabella before she was reworked, a lot of players are not running him in that aspect. If you don't ult him, he actually does more damage, which is super broken. Tassie, another hero, you want to build Tassie out ASAP just because she has multiple forms of crowd control, which is really broken in AFK Arena. Crowd control wins the game, guys. I've said it multiple times. Crowd control will absolutely decimate the game. So getting her up to a 309. Pippa, plus 20 signature item, ultimately going to 309 as well, depending where you have her built. Her plus 20 signature item is very powerful, so the sooner you build her, the sooner you get her. You do want to build that out. And even with Pippa, I would honestly prioritize, just looking at this, I would prioritize building Saurus first, just for the simple fact that you can utilize Saurus with the plus 30 signature item within the Twisted Realm until you get to the point of building Pippa. So even if you just take Saurus to Mythic to get that signature item, if you don't build him earlier, you're going to have a very difficult time in the Twisted Realm, which means that you are going to get less Twisted Essence, and the Elder Tree is going to take a significant amount of time to build. Ultimately, you are going to rely on Saurus for his damage until you build Grez within the Twisted Realm. So I would prioritize putting him probably in place of Pippa. Pippa will definitely come shortly after, but I would personally swap these two. And then we have Gorvo, again, the 1003 to the 203, 3 of 9 furniture, or 3 of 9 furniture is really all you need. Respin, he's a breakout hero in PvP, but does take a significant amount of investment. Even here, 3 of 9 furniture to 9 of 9 furniture. Signature item, of course, is going to boost his haste. Now here, Namora, her signature item doesn't make a difference. Her attack rating is so low, her crit rating is so low. Most of the time, 0, 0, 0, there you go. But the place that Namora makes a difference is the Beguile ability with the 9 of 9 furniture, which is just absolutely destroying teams because you can crowd control someone right off the bat, which is very powerful. Again, when it comes to AFK Arena, plus 25 gives her a little bit more haste. And then we have Lorzen here with nothing. You don't have to build out anything on Lorzen. I do usually just unlock the signature item, but doesn't need signature item, doesn't need furniture. He's there for the linking ability and the inner sight if you can get that to go off. So looking at our next faction, which is our Graveborns, Damon, 203, definitely have to have. Ultimately take him to the 303. The 9 of 9 furniture with him, again, not a big requirement. He will perform exceptionally well at the 303. And of course, adding stars onto him, adding stars on Isolde and Grez. Isolde is another hero that I'm kind of questionable about because I know once you start getting to late game, end game, Isolde completely drops off. Nobody even uses him within a formation. But if you're building him earlier game and you get lucky with a couple copies of him, he can actually carry you for a significant amount of time, combined with support and crowd control. As long as you can get him to live, he will do well. But he does have to have that 3 of 9 furniture, guys. A big priority, meaning that you have to have him ascended. Before you have him ascended to go ahead and add furniture on, he doesn't really do much of anything. Pharrell, one of the original heroes in AFK Arena, definitely have to build out Pharrell. He goes from 203 all the way to 309. The energy disintegration, the crowd control he does, the stuns that he does, super powerful when you have him built out, is used in a ton of different formations, even utilized in PvP for quite a few formations with the Eins comp, works perfectly. If you're building Thorn for the Thorn Cheese, 303 is where you want to get him, ultimately going to 309. So he will be maxed out for the Thorn Cheese. If you're not using the Thorn Cheese, and a lot of players don't, I've tried it many times, haven't had great success with it, but ultimately, if you're looking to do it, you can build him out. Grez is another hero, guys. 5 stars as soon as you can, build out as soon as you can. And the utilization with him is that 9 of 9 furniture. With the shadow shield that comes up on the minions, when the shadow shield breaks, it does damage, allowing him to just destroy damage meters, which is the reason boss fights, Twisted Realm, why he is just so successful with the damage he puts out. And ultimately, like I said earlier, Source will be utilized until you build out Grez, because to do that maximum damage, he has to have the 9 of 9 furniture. Looking at Silas, 3 of 9, then building him to 309. Plus 30 signature item does give him a big attack rating boost, as long as the enemies are above, I believe, 50% HP. So absolutely building him out, guys. He is very tough to deal with, especially if you can get him to survive a little bit, get some of the heals up. He is hard to kill. Now, Oden, 203 and 309, absolutely, guys. I use Oden in a ton of formations. I'd even probably put Oden in here instead of Isolde would be my personal choice. Again, just out of my preferences, because I know the power that he has. I've been built out on multiple accounts, and he can single-handedly destroy teams, which is very cool to see. Now, to finish out the rest of the faction, we have Nara in here, 15-3, 25-3. Again, she's kind of situational, because if there's a particular hero that you have to grab or you want out of a formation, whether it's a support hero, whether it's a like-it type hero, she can actually grab them up really quick, finish them off pretty fast because of the damage output that she puts, but does require a little bit of investment. Desira, same. She needs her furniture to really be successful, guys. Getting the 003, and then, of course, the 309. And then, of course, Hodgkin, one of our new heroes, not built with anything. His abilities kind of speak for themselves. They do very well. Building him all the way up to 209 eventually. So, like I said from the beginning with in-seasons guides, it does encompass so many aspects of AFK Arena. So we're going to touch on these really quick. So Labyrinth, number one, you want to build Arthur. You want to build him as soon as possible. If you have emblems or if you have lab tokens and they are overflowing, you want to pick up Wukong. Big thing with Wukong is when you get him to 5 stars, not only can you use additional copies of Wukong to exchange them for other heroes. It's a 3-for-1 exchange for Celestials and Hypogeans, 2-for-1 if you're looking at regular heroes. But ultimately, within the Labyrinth store, it will turn to the Twisted Essence, so you can stockpile that as you continue your progression. Now, once you have Arthur completed, the order goes the Emblems of Space to the Twisted Essence. If you have overflow again, you will go to the red chest. Easy peasy for the Labyrinth store. Stargazer, Lucretia to 1 star. Big reason focusing on Lucretia to 1 star is the engraving system, guys. Both of her abilities, the plus 30, plus 60 for engraving, are very strong, which is the reason you want to take her to 1 star, unlock that engraving. Her and Ions are really the 2 heroes you want to prioritize, building the engraving first. Then it goes to Alna, then it's Khazard and Mahira, so an easy build there for the Stargazer to start out. Challenger store, Merlin, of course, super powerful. Support hero, Zolrath, and then Athalia. A lot of players do kind of vice versa change these ones. I like the build of Zolrath, especially with the 3 of 9 furniture. Makes a big difference, and he is utilized in a lot of PvP. So is Athalia. Looking at the bundles, if you're looking to purchase monthly cards, awesome, which is the $5 card, the deluxe card, which I believe is the $15 card. Advancement rewards always are the priority, then Champions of Espria, Regal Rewards, and the Twisted Bounty, depending what you need out of here. That's what I like about the bundles, and specifically the Noble Society in general, is you can choose what your account needs. If it's an earlier account, go with red emblems, you are going to use them. Go with Poe coins, you are going to use them. Early game, mid game, I'm not really focused on engraving. You don't have the heroes up, you don't have the stars on the heroes to go ahead and build them. But you need signature items and you need furniture, just like we've seen from the list above, really making sure that you get those built. Fast rewards, another question we get a lot of times. So if you're chapter 16 and above, spend your 50 diamonds. Chapter 24 above, spend your 80 diamonds. Chapter 32 and above, spend your 100 diamonds. Recommended per cost per chapter. So if you're below that, there's no reason to do the fast rewards. The Elder Tree, so this is a very interesting guide, and you can see there's a couple pivotal points in here of how you should build out the trees and when you should build out the trees based on abilities and also based on the substats. That's really the big thing that you have to look at. When you look at, for instance, the trees that have haste or the trees that have different abilities, it goes by the different levels. So you should build them up to these specific levels, and then move to another tree or continue building up to the next level. So essentially, let's say for the support tree, I'm at 47. Once I'm at 47, that is where I want to be. Next level, I am going to take and focus on the support tree all the way to 57. That way I will be built to 57, then 57, you're going to go to 72, so on and so forth out of here. Looking here, as you know, the elder trees go super high, but you can see a lot of the elder tree, like the support, for instance, stops there at 77. Even for the warrior class, 47, it looks like about the stop there. I don't know if that's intentional, but these are the three real priority trees that you're going to build. Focusing either, well, most players just focus on the celerity tree because of Lucretia. The sorcery tree doesn't make that big of a difference. It does have an impact, but ultimately you have heroes like Ainz that are so powerful. They can kind of overwrite the damage they're going to do in the tree, where a lot of the dodge heroes, the celerity heroes, do need the additional dodge to go ahead and do the damage. And also with the abilities within the celerity tree in particular is super strong, guys. They do have a lot of damage and haste built into that tree, which makes them so strong, and also so strong within the Abyssal Expedition. So an extra note, this is always a priority, guys. After 10 Ascended and Choice Summons, resources can be allocated to Dust, EXP, Red Emblem, Poe, or Stargazing. Obtain these heroes as needed. I really focus on these heroes when it comes to the Stargazer first. The big reason is the Abyssal Expedition, the Twisted Realm. They are used in so many aspects of the game. I mean, literally all the boss battles use these heroes. When you're looking at the AE, if you have them at Elite Plus, they're used in the Abyssal Expedition. They're used in most Twisted Realm formations. Even when you're going to the Trials of God, most of them are used in different formations. So these are actually the two heroes that I would probably build first. I would take these up to Elite Plus and then follow our Stargazer guide here to go ahead and build out Lucretia and Alna, because again, you are going to use these heroes in the upcoming weeks and months that you're playing AFK Arena. You are going to utilize these heroes, and they are going to be used through the entire AFK Arena experience. They're two heroes you are always going to have, guys. All right, so that will do it for our in-seasons almanac. Big shout out to all the content creators that built this. It is very cool to see, and I agree with 98% of the guide. Only two things that I would probably change would be Brutus for Sophia possibly, but ultimately Saurus. I really feel Saurus needs to be in here from the start, because that is going to be your Twisted Realm hero that you're going to push until Grez has that 9 of 9 furniture. Saurus is going to be the big push. And then, of course, Isolde. I feel like I would build Oden before Isolde. But, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.